Hello everyone, March W13 here with another hotel review, and this week we are in New Orleans, Louisiana, in the world famous French Quarter at a place called Hotel Mazarin. Let's say we check out the room. This hotel apparently likes to fashion itself as the, quote, diamond of the French Quarter. I suppose we'll be the judge of that. It's named after a fellow named Giulio Raimondo Mazzarini, an Italian, I guess, cardinal, who ultimately became a French citizen and acquired a French name. And this little pamphlet here has, I'm sure, some fascinating information concerning his life. I haven't read the whole thing, but it does appear that he spent his entire life in France, not the New World, so no real connection here with the property. Now, we are in a regular guest room, but one that is slightly better than the basic room, which I assume would be the Petite King or the Deluxe King. We're actually in a Superior King, which is just one step down from the Premium King. And I guess the rooms are a bit more spacious, and they, unlike the petite rooms, some apparently have French Quarter views. Ours is one of them. They have pillow top beds. Everything else, I suppose, is relatively standard, with the exception of the additional space. Perhaps we can start our tour here in the bathroom, which is just on the right as you enter the room. And the first thing that meets the eye is this basin atop a pedestal. You don't necessarily see that every day, particularly in rooms in the United States, but of course this harkens to sort of New World France. And bath amenities are from something called the New Orleans Collection. That may be the name of this family of hotels. I'm not completely sure. If so, it might include the Monteleone Hotel, which is just around the corner on Royale Street. But nice collection of amenities, including a shower cap, which is something you don't necessarily see. There are a number of elements of this room that sort of remind me of the non-chain hotel days of yore. I'm not sure what purpose this structure serves or would have served perhaps in pre-COVID times, but it looks like perhaps there would have been something stacked here at one point and no longer. I'm glad that there is, or at least appears to be, 3 sets of towels, because I'm fairly certain that during these COVID pandemic times, there is no daily room cleaning service. The walk-in marbled shower here certainly looks spacious enough. One of the nicer ones I've seen as of late in my travels. Everything just looks shiny and polished. There's some bath soap there. Looks like a little fan here. Not familiar with that style of fixture there. Right across the hall from the bathroom is the closet, which has sliding doors that curiously slide from both ends. We'll start at this end, which is where all of the wooden hangers are. There's looks like there are some laundry services, a bag for your discarded laundry, maybe some extra toilet paper. It's interesting. About 9 tin hangers, a couple of which are devoted to these logo monogrammed bathrobes, pair of bathrobes, and there happens to also be an ironing board and iron here. So overall, nothing particularly special here. Little fold-out stand for your luggage as well, but you know, certainly up to par. Now again, this is a superior king room, which is apparently a step up from not only the petite but also the deluxe rooms, which are allegedly less spacious. I'm not sure exactly what the square footage is here, but I will tell you this is also a corner room, which means you have not only a view of the French Quarter, but also a view out the side here of a little courtyard that I think pre-COVID would have been devoted to one of the two bars that formerly operated at this property. Now, everything in this room feels relatively new, but also very antique-y and classy. I believe this hotel was renovated in 2011, so that's about 10 years ago. Inside here you have a little Cuisinart coffee maker with some coffee packs from Avido, which I believe is a local beverage manufacturer. And there's also a very nicely lit refrigerator here, which did not come pre-stocked, and it doesn't seem like it's cooling very well, but it at least looks cool. The safe is pretty standard, 4-digit code, and not terribly large, but at least adequately sized, plenty of room for the valuables that I travel with. What you do have less of in this room, I would say, is drawer space. You know, there's some rooms that I've reviewed lately that have at least 5 times the amount of space that this does. This only has 3 drawers, and as you can see, they're not terribly deep, but I suppose you know, certainly large enough for a single traveler. If you're only here for a weekend, this is all you might need. Now, from the marble floor, which does, I will tell you, keep the room relatively cool, even in this late spring, nearly early summertime, to the rugs on either side of the bed, to the antique furnishings, to this chandelier-like fixture in the ceiling. This room just oozes elegance and class in a way that other hotels I've stayed at in New Orleans in the past don't. Now, we are in a superior king room, and this is allegedly a pillow top mattress, which does feel soft to the touch on top, but it sort of gives way to something much, much firmer, probably a 7 out of 10 in firmness on underneath. Now, on the side table here is what looks like an antique lamp, but on either side of the light switch here, of course, there are a couple of standard power outlets. No USB ports, but certainly good to see at least sufficient power outlet availability, and something that you don't see these days. In the chain hotels during COVID times, they removed anything, any paper products, stationery, magazines, that sort of thing. But here we see that they have retained at least a notepad with a few sheets here. And something that you would have seen in every hotel room 20 years ago, which is a list of charges for usage of the in-room telephone, which of course no one really uses any longer these days, it seems. Oh, there is a decent view outside this side window here. You peer into a little courtyard which appears to be in use. Again, people are filtering in. Actually, it looks like from the street right now, from Bienville Street. Bourbon Street is just beyond those trees, with Royal Street to our back. And the desk area really sort of fits with the motif of the room. And again, Something that you probably haven't seen lately if you stayed at a chain hotel, which is more printed material, which would have been removed from most hotels due to COVID. Makes you wonder how well they sanitize these rooms, but I have faith that that they take the necessary measures to ensure our safety. Not an ergonomic chair necessarily, but you know, if you're here for work, shame on you, right? If you're near Bourbon Street, you must be here to party. Looks like we have some more printed materials with a guide to the city. More paper, or excuse me, plastic disposable drinkware. I'm not sure where this string came from, so that's a little bit concerning, but nonetheless, okay. Standard ice bucket. I'm not sure where the ice is located, but apparently it is available on site, otherwise they wouldn't have the bucket. Now, there's a metal ice bucket here. Someone knocked on my door just a few minutes ago. I've actually been here, checked in over 4-ish hours ago, but they just brought me this. Compliments of the hotel because of my status with hotels.com. They said Expedia, but it's hotels.com. And I looked up, this is this bottle, it's a Sauvignon Blanc from Napa, California, and it actually costs around 12, 13, 14, 15 bucks. So actually a decent quality complimentary wine, and they brought me a couple of glasses here as well. Even though I'm here by myself, there's a huge mirror here, and curiously a mirror in the desk as well. I love the black and white photos that adorn the walls. That's of course historic Jackson Square, named after President and General Andrew Jackson. We have an alarm clock that I'm not terribly familiar with. Looks like perhaps an off-brand, but certainly adequate. People don't use these really these days either. And this one looks like it does have some USB charging ports, so I stand corrected from my earlier statement regarding the absence of such, at least on this side of the bed. And then of course you couple that with the 2 electrical outlets in the base of the lamp, and you're all set. One thing I failed to mention, and this is of course available in the sort of twin side tables on both sides of the bed, or this sort of slide out table-like surface, in addition to the drawer. No Gideon Bible. Again, very, very classy, although maybe not the most comfortable chair and ottoman with floor lamp. And that is the fairly powerful AC, but certainly noisy AC cutting on. And finally, the view out the main window onto Bienville Street. Again, we are right between Royal and which is to our right, and Bourbon Street, which is to our left. And if you're familiar with the French Quarter, and particularly with Bourbon Street, we're right around the corner from Felix's, and I believe the old Absinthe Room, which is on the corner here of this street, Bienville, and Bourbon, as well as there's a restaurant I think called Arnaud's on the other side of this street as it intersects Bourbon. So you can see a very lively Friday afternoon here, beautiful day, and really a beautiful locale. Well, I suppose that does it for this review of a superior king room at the Hotel Mazarin in historic New Orleans, Louisiana. Thank you for joining me, and before I bid you all farewell, let me just step outside. You may have heard the revelry from inside here earlier. All of these rooms open to a balcony here and an open air courtyard. And I'm not sure what the history of this hotel may be, but the courtyard is an integral piece of this hotel, and a very charming one at that. And as you can see, well, actually this was relatively dead just a couple of hours ago, but I think because a bar downstairs, not the bar van, but I think it's called Bar 21st Amendment or something like that, has now opened, and people have flooded through, and now the courtyard is much more lively than it was before. Well, that really is it now. Thank you again for joining me on this tour. Safe travels.